All right, everybody, Todd here, all things archery and shooting. How about that range review on that bow, huh? The Bear Super Grizzly. I got to tell you, I am really impressed with this bow. This is probably one of the most impressive bows that I have shot in all the bows I've tested. I really, really like this bow. It just fits me really well. It shoots really well. I mean, this bow is probably going to be my new favorite go-to bow to replace my black hunter bow that I've been using to hunt with so far this season. I'm probably going to replace it with this bow here. I mean, it's a little bit shorter than my black hunter. This black hunter is a 60-inch bow. This is a 58-inch bow. But I mean, this bow really, really shoots nice. It's very accurate. I mean, no hand shock at all. It's super quiet. I really like this bow. Now let's talk about what I don't like about the bow. There's only a couple things I really don't like about this bow. The first thing being is this Bear string. I think Bear makes probably the worst strings on the market, period. They really need to do something about their string up their game. This string, the serving's already coming apart on this string. It's only, this bow is brand new. I've only shot this bow during a review. And already the serving's coming off here. I wonder what happened to the old school Bear. Maybe the old school Bear strings used to have the Dacron strings. They were black with the green, I don't know, nylon, not nylon, but like cloth serving or fabric serving. I mean, those lasted for years. I mean, I had one Bear bow that I had probably lasted, I don't know, 2 or 3 years before I changed it out. These new nylon type strings, I just don't understand. I don't like them all. So probably the first thing I'm going to do is give my buddy Kramer Amons a call over at Shatterproof Archery. If you don't know who he is, you need to go check out his site. Check out Kramer Amons on YouTube or Shatterproof Archery YouTube. He's a custom bow maker, but he also makes some of the really cool accessories like shooting gloves, tabs, arm guards, all kind of quivers. He also makes one hell of a string too. I did a review on his string not too far back, and his was the best of all the strings I reviewed. So I'm going to give him a call and get him maybe a string for this bow, because that's the only complaint I have with this bow is the string. Well, the Bear string is just not a very good bow. And it's not the first time I've come across other people that review this bow, like Grizzly Jim. He reviewed a Bear Grizzly not too long ago, and he said the same thing. The Bear strings were just horrid. And I can see why. This thing's already coming apart. So we're going to get a new string for it. But otherwise, I really love the bow. It's a gorgeous bow. I mean, it's really, I mean, it's fairly fast. I mean, consider I've got brush buttons on this thing and silencers on it. I bet if I took those off, it'd probably shoot about another 5 to 10 feet a second faster. But this thing moving right 180, what was my average? 180 feet per second for my 10 grains per pound of draw, which is a 510 grain arrow, and a very respectable 162 feet per second for a 630 grain hunting arrow. So, I mean, it bows very, very well. I've been very happy with this bow. Let's go through and start looking at all my 6 qualities. I've checked all the bows. Remember, I judge all my bows on 6 criteria, with the highest score being 10 for each criteria, and lowest score being 1. For the high possible score of 60, then I take all the numbers, add them together, and I get a total. Okay. So let's see how this bow stacks up against the other bows I've done a review. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you know how this works. So let's do that now. Okay, the other thing that's not something I don't like about a bow is something I wish I would have done instead. I wish I would have got the 50-pound version of this bow instead of the 45. I really think I would like this bow this much, because I've got a couple other Grizzlies here. One belonged to my dad. It's a 53-pound bow, and it shoots really good too. It's an old 1969 Grizzly. Then I've got a 67 Grizzly also that's a 45-pound. I like the 53-pound Grizzly better. I kind of wish I'd have got this bow in a 50-pound bow instead of a 45, but other than that, I'm not going to complain much. I mean, it's comfortable to shoot, and I enjoy shooting it a lot. So let's go ahead and rate this bow on my 6 criteria. I always rate these bows on 6 things based on a 1 to 10 score for each point of criteria. Remember, there's 6 of them. Those are quality, specifications of the bow, which is, I mean, how the bow compares to the web page and advertised. We've got the shootability, how quick I can pick the bow and shoot the bow and get on target with it. We got speed, how fast the bow actually is. We've got how quiet the bow is from the factory for the 5th one, and for the 6th and final is the value of the bow, okay? So let's talk about the first one, the quality, okay? Well, I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it again. I really like Bear products. I'm not going to lie. I'm a Bear fanboy. I've always have been a Bear fanboy, and I always will be a Bear fanboy. I've loved their bows from day one. I mean, I really do enjoy their bows. They make a really good quality bow. And some of the equipment they use at the Bear factory, if you get down to Gainesville, you got to come down. You can't think of doing it anymore. Before, you used to go take tours of the factory with COVID and stuff, and I might be able to, but you should definitely go on. There's a lot of YouTube videos of the Bear factory, and look at how they make these bows. I mean, this stuff's made on equipment that was built in the 40s and 50s, and they're still using the same equipment. They hand finish these bows. I mean, these bows are done by craftsmen. Okay, they really are. The people at Bear are artists, and they are very good at what they do. Okay, so the quality of the bow, I mean, the finish on the bow is really nice. The wood grain's gorgeous. I mean, the only thing I don't like about it's going to hurt this bow is the string. Wasn't for the string, this bow would be probably a 10. But because of that string, which I told you is already coming apart in the serving already, I mean, just a poor quality string. I don't know if it's a Chinese knockoff string or what. It is a fast flight string, but it is not a very good one. So if it wasn't for that string, this bow would rate a 10 on my quality scale. So I'm going to have to give it a 9 on quality, just because of that string. If they spend a couple extra dollars, which wouldn't cost much, to put a quality string on here, this bow would be perfectly for my quality. Awesome. Okay. Let's talk about the specifications of the bow. Okay, now the specs of the bow is, all right, I'm going to say that they're a little bit off. Bear always puts the weight behind their striker plate here. I took the striker plate off, put a new one on because I wanted to see the actual weight, because this bow is coming in at 46 pounds on my tiller machine, but it's clearly marked 45 pounds here. Well, I took it off, and unfortunately there's nothing behind it, which usually Bears always put a weight behind that. I guess they stopped doing that now because there's nothing behind this one. So I'm going to have to go off what my tiller machine says. At 28 inches, this bow is pulling 46.59 pounds. That's the digital scale of my tiller machine, okay? So almost 47 pounds, so it's almost 2 pounds off, okay? Now on my handheld scale, it's pulling 51 pounds at my draw length to 29.5 inches, which is a respectable hunting weight. So, I mean, because of that, the specifications are off there, and I always hate when my scales are, let me rephrase that. There's a lot of bows that don't really meet this criteria, and some are lower, some are higher, but I would prefer a bow to be higher in weight than lower. But still, it's not what it's advertised to be, all right? It could be because it's a second-hand bow or a factory second, not a used bow, but a factory second. This bow is brand new. It's never been sold anywhere. I was the first one to buy it. It's just a Bear factory second. I mean, that could be one thing. Also, this bow here, the quality on this bow, is the writing on here is cockeyed and off center, so it's not where it's supposed to be. And the more I look at the bow too, look at the silk screening. I mean, if you look at the Bear Archery silk screening down here, it's also not centered like it's supposed to be. This should have been a little bit further down the bow and more centered, okay? So there's a big, but when I bought this bow, I knew it was the factory second. I knew there'd be some issues with it. So I don't know if I should really grade this bow on what I think it will be or what one I have. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grade it the way I have the bow in my hand. So for specifications, I'm going to have to give the bow an 8, okay? Just because of that, all right? Now the shootability of the bow, this is where it actually shines. I mean, this is probably the best shooting bow I've ever picked up and shot. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I like a lot of Bear bows, and I've shot a lot of Bear bows, and some are really good, and there's a few that aren't so good. But this bow, as soon as I picked it up and started shooting with it, I was right on target with it. This bow really shoots well. For me, it does anyway. I had very little tuning to do on this bow. And matter of fact, I'm going to build a new set of arrows specifically for this bow, and I'm going to tune them exactly with this bow to see how accurate I can actually get this bow. Now, I'm using standard Porter for cedar arrows that I've built for other bows that are just in my shop there. But I'm going to work up a set of arrows for this bow with it. I mean, and I'm going to try to get this bow as accurate as I can. Even on the range, this bow is still shooting sub 2-inch groups at 20 yards, which my average is 3 inches at 20 yards. If I can shoot 2-inch groups with a bow at 20 yards, I mean, right away out of the box, I mean, that's really good. There's no hand shock on the bow. I mean, it does not vibrate in your hand. The string doesn't vibrate. It shoots where you point it at. I mean, I really like the way the bow shot. It's one of the best shooting bows I've ever picked up and shot. So I am going to have to give it a 10 on shootability. I've never given a bow a 10 on shootability before. This is the first one. And the reason being, because I mean, this is the first bow I picked up and I've been able to get right on target with it. Okay, and shoot sub 2-inch groups at 20 yards, which is pretty wild. All right, speed of the bow. Let's talk about speed now. Now, the speed of the bow, I mean, a respectable speed of 180 feet per second for a 510 grain arrow, that's kind of in the, I mean, it's not super fast. Let's compare that to like the Black Hunter. The same 45-pound Black Hunter with the same 500 grain arrow is shooting over 190 feet per second. So it's not quite as fast as the Black Hunter is, or as fast as the Mccoy bow, which is the other bow I reviewed, which is a $60 bow. That bow was just crazy fast. It was shooting like 198, 197. You got to check my review on that bow. That bow was just nuts how fast it was. Couldn't believe it. But still, for a 180 for a standard hunting bow like this, the Bear Grizzly, that's a respectable speed for a 510 grain arrow. And for a heavyweight arrow of 630 grains, I mean, that's another respectable, I mean, 162 feet per second, that is really good. So we're gonna figure out the kinetic energy on that. I think you're gonna find that quite interesting. Let's look at it. Now I don't do too many kinetic energies on these bows, but I've done a few of them. So let's do one on this bow, okay? Remember, the formula for kinetic energy is kinetic energy, which is Ke, is equal to the mass of the velocity squared divided by 450,240, okay? So it's mass times velocity squared divided by 450,240. So let's do some figuring on this. First thing we're gonna figure out is gonna be the 180 feet per second, okay? For the 510 grain shaft. So let's the way you do that is you take your calculator, you do 510, okay, I'm sorry. To do your velocity first, square your velocity 180 feet per second times 180. Okay, times that by the mass of the arrow, which is 510 grains. Okay, and you want to divide that by 450,240. That gives me a kinetic energy of this bow at 36.75, okay? I'm sorry, 36.70 Ke. So the kinetic energy of this bow is 36.70 foot-pounds, okay? Now let's figure it out for the 630 grain arrow at 162 feet average velocity, okay? So you take your 600, first thing you're going to do is you get to multiply your speed, which would be 162 times 162, times that by the mass of the arrow, 630 grains. Then you want to divide that by 450,240. And that gives you almost identical, we're talking very close. This comes in at 36, the KD on this one comes in at 36.72. So this bow is an extremely efficient bow, okay? So you got a kinetic energy of 36.70 for the 180 grain. I'm sorry, 36.70 for the 510 grain arrow. And you've got the same exact kinetic energy, 36.72 for the 630 grain arrow. So it comes in really close. Now, in this situation, I'd probably shoot the 510s. I'm going to have less drop further down the line, so my kinetic energy is the same. So I'm going to work up a 510 grain arrow for this bow. That's what I'm going to do, okay? All right, well, that's pretty decent there, kinetic energy wise, all right? So, let's get back to our speed now. So the speed of this bow, I got 180 feet per second for the 510 grain, and 162 feet per second for the 630 grain. Those are respectable speeds, so I'm going to give the speed on this bow as an 8. It's not the fastest, but it's by no means the slowest, okay? Quietness of the bow. This bow is really, really quiet. You can hear, the bow is super quiet. I mean, adding the brush buttons and rabbit fur silencers. I'm also going to order some limb tip silencers for this bow to put in here for the string grooves. And this bow is just really, really quiet. It's super quiet. So we're going to give it a 9 on quietness, okay? Let's talk about value of this bow now, okay? Value of the bow, okay? The bow is $499. At that price, I would think it's a good buy for a Bear bow. I mean, not a lot of people can spend $499 on a bow, or they don't have that laying around, but to pick up this bow at the pro shop for $250, that is just boggles my mind. It's outstanding. It's over half off for a perfectly fine bow, except for a few, cosmetic errors, basically nothing structural about the bow. So at $250, this bow is an extremely good value. You can't find a better value out there. So I am going to have to give the value on this bow. Also, Bear always holds their value real well. This bow will probably still be around 50 years from now. My grandkids will probably be shooting it, okay? So, this is a really, really good bow. I don't even have grandkids right now, but I guarantee you, when my grandkids are my age, they'll be shooting this bow. Because that's how good this bow is. Bear makes an outstanding product. Their products stand the test of time. They are very well made. Their value is just right up there, okay? They do call this the working man's bow. So Bear designed and built this bow so that a standard guy working on, working in the mines or working the fields or, turning wrenches or swinging a hammer, could afford a good quality hunting bow and want something that will last him for years. And this bow definitely hits all those points. So we're going to give it a 10 on value, okay? All right, let's add all this up now. 9, 17, 27. This comes in at 54 out of 60. I do believe that is the best rated bow that I've reviewed in all my bows. A 54 out of 60. So, do I recommend this bow? Yes, I do. You can purchase that. Check with the guys at the pro shop. If you give the pro shop a call and speak to the gentleman there, he will actually, he'll send a bow out to you. He'll charge you a shipping charge, whatever you live at. But he'll sell it to you off the rack there for whatever they're different prices. They've got some Kodiaks, they got some Bear Grizzlies, they got some Kodiak Magnums, they got some Super Magnums, they got some Montanas, they got a bunch of different bows that are factory seconds, and they all range from $200 to $350. I think the most expensive one is $350. I think the most expensive is $350. No, $350 for the Bear. Kodiak takedown bow. That one's $350. The rest run between $200 and $300. So, but give him a call over there. Tell him what you're looking for. He's probably got it on that. When I was there a couple of days ago, they had probably 40 to 50 bows on their discount shelf there. I'm sure he's got something I'm looking for. But he had half a dozen of his Bear Grizzlies there. So he's all different weights from a low of 40 up to 55 pounds. So I highly recommend this bow. Pick it if you want to give Bear Archery a call and get it, or if you can't get through the end, drop me a line and I can pick one up for you and send it over to you if you want me to. But anyway, if you get a chance, it's a great bow. Pick it up. You won't be unsatisfied. It's an excellent bow. This is probably going to be my most favorite bow now. All right, well, this has been Todd, All Things Archery and Shooting. I want to thank you guys for watching. I've also, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so and click that bell icon next to the subscription. That way I can notify you of my upcoming videos. I got a bunch of bow videos coming out and some more hunting videos coming out. Be sure to check out my Patreon channel. There's my hunting videos are uploading now. I got some deer hunting videos, some turkey hunting videos, hog hunting videos, all uploading right now. I got some more in-depth reviews on some of these bows and stuff on that channel. So check out my Patreon channel. There'll be a link in the box for you. I want to thank all you guys for subscribing and watching me. And I've got over almost 3,500 people right now, which are signed up to subscribe. Look for it's pretty wild. Humbles me completely, and I appreciate that. I want to try to get to 10,000, and I want to try to get there by the first of the year. I know it's kind of a lofty goal, but I want to try to get 10,000 subscribers by the first of the year. So hope you guys help me achieve that. Recommend me to your friends. Share this video with your friends and your neighbors and your hunting buddies. And any questions, leave me a comment. I love answering your comments. And I want to thank you guys for watching. And if you get a chance to get one of these Bear Super Grizzlies, you won't be dissatisfied. All right. Well, again, thank you for watching. This has been Todd. Until next time, guys. Ciao.